Hi, I'm Steve Tattersall with Antares Tile in Boulder, Colorado. I'm doing a tub to shower conversion in this bathroom. And the shower is going to extend, the toilet will move over, the tub is going to come out, the shower is going to be 5 feet by 4 feet in this dimension. QuickDrain USA has come out with a new product that allows you to remove the subfloor and still keep that same joist height for when you do your slope to have the drain at the wall. The drain will be against the back wall, and I'll have 4 feet that'll slope, and I'll still meet code at 1/4 inch a foot. So I have all the tile demoed out of here, floor and all. I'm going to cut out the subfloor for the entire space of where my new shower is going to be, and it's going to slope this way towards the back wall for the wall drain. So this is the wall drain unit that I'm going to be installing. It requires, you can see the drain is just halfway through this piece, and this is fitting flush up against your wall. I have had to notch out back on this sill plate. I also found places where that attaches. There are these bolts that protrude. I've had to take some holes for where they're going to fit. There are also screws in the bottom of this that screws the drain down to your subfloor. So here's the magic part. QuickDrain has come up with these brackets that lay on top of your joist. They overlap, screw down onto the joist, then you lay your subfloor and screw your subfloor to these brackets. That will bring your subfloor flush with the top of your joists. In the past, they had a reinforcing panel that went on top of here that was 3/8 of an inch thick. That extra 3/8 only allowed you to have a 3-foot shower. You couldn't get the proper slope with that 3/8 panel. Now that you have it coming down almost even with these, you can accommodate a 4-foot shower in here and still have a 1/4 inch per foot slope going all the way to the end. You're going to have 1 inch here, your 3/4 inch plus your backer board is going to take you to 1 inch. That's going down to next to nothing. You can use their preformed foam sloped panels. You don't have to pour a pan, you don't have to screed across. It all goes real quick. So I have all of my pieces in. There is another bracket that goes over on the outside edges. This one pounds in between the sill and the subfloor, and I only had 2 of those, so I went to a different bracket over here. This bracket comes up flush with the top of the stud and just screws into the stud. So I've planned this pan at 46.5 inches. It just worked out with the lay of the tile instead of going the full 48. I've cut this board to fit, and I'm going to leave this overhang, and I'm going to tuck it underneath the other subfloor and screw through to it so that there'll be no flex here at the threshold as you walk in. It's going to be a hair lower than the rest of it, but slope is going on top of it, tile is going on top of it. I can shim the slope if I need to make sure everything is still working in that direction. So I have a piece of scrap slope material. I put 1/4 inch backer board on here, which is what's going to go over the entire floor. There's going to be radiant heat down here, but I don't like doing my waterproofing from my slope material right onto the Ditra heat. It's too many bumps and stuff. So I like to give myself a little threshold here. And I'm looking right at the edge of this is a hair too high. I'm going to come to about here. And I'm going to cut this much off of all of my slope material. Well, actually I'm just going to cut it to fit in this manner. And then I'll figure out my drain over on that side. The drain will sit on top of the slope material. So these brackets are strong enough that I was easily able to cut a hole cut a piece out so that I could connect my drain, put that all together. I'll slide this into place and screw this down. Also, this drain has pins on the bottom that are supposed to go through the subfloor and thread, and it worked out that they happen to land right on top of these joists. So I drilled a hole in the top of the drain. When I get my slope material and everything on here, I'll go ahead and screw those down to these joists. So this is all a dry fit. I haven't thin set these down yet. Before you want to put your thin set these down, you want to have your backer board on the walls and then fit this up to the backer board. It's so much easier to cut your backer board square at the floor, flat across the bottom and up the sides. With this wall drain, you're also given these shims that shim out all of your studs to 1 inch, which is the thickness of this drain panel here. The drain works best in an alcove situation like this. So I've installed my backer on the sides. The piece in the back is 8.5 inches up off of your floor, which is up off of the slope material, is 8.5 inches. And you want to make sure you get this piece on straight. I'm going to mud the slope material down, then waterproof everything. I'll be waterproofing this corner and this little funny piece here. All of this is going to get waterproofed 2 coats, and then this piece goes back on again when we start doing tile. So I've screwed the drain down to the subfloor. I've installed my slope panels with a 1/4 by 1/4 inch notch trowel and thin set. You can do that before you put this board on, which may make it easier or not. I just knew where this board was going to go. I slid the panels underneath. I have no problems or issues with it. You're going to pull the protective tape off of the cover. When the tape is off, you're going to, with the kit comes a roll of this butyl tape. And you will peel and stick the butyl tape on so that it overlaps the drain 1/4 inch, and the rest goes on to the slope. This is your second defense for waterproofing. You'll apply the butyl tape all the way around, leave this protective cover on, butyl tape goes all the way around, and then I start waterproofing. The kit comes with inside and outside corners. I don't need any outside corners for this sleigh. I'll have the inside corners. I will also be taping this corner and a piece of tape all the way across here. I'll waterproof all the way up past that, and tape all those corners, tape the seams on the slope, cover the entire slope area. I will also tape where my backer board is, where the 1/4 inch backer board is over here, and I'll tape and waterproof all the way to the end of that. So I've measured the width of this panel and cut it down, panel and the stainless. I had to cut, so the idea is you want to make sure that this is sitting on top of this styrofoam cover and it's level. I have the laser on there, and that it's going to fit in here flush, and then and you screw it off to the wall. So I've measured these extensions that go on here. You'll put the butyl tape on the back, smear it with thin set, and it goes under here. This end goes flush, and this goes flush with the wall. This goes flush with this metal piece. So in fact, it sits on an angle like this. And that's going to direct the water into the drain. And the same thing for the other side. So after you've set the tile on your floor, you set your side wall tile first. And after that is set, you measure tile to tile. You're going to cut this bar that has the slots on it to fit. Then you're going to cut the tile in cover to fit. And there are these little feet that go on, that fit inside and go on the tile in cover. Whichever side you cut, you're going to need to file it down. As I recall, these things are a real bear to get on. So file the ends, make sure everything is slick, get these covers on, and slip it in place. So when you cut this tile in cover, you want to cut it just a hair shorter than your tile because these little feet overlap the edges. Not by much, but they do. So that goes in place. You loosen these screws on this top bar. And let that top bar slip down and rest right on the top of that drain cover. And tighten them back up. And replace all of the screws. Replace all the screws, remove this cover, and tile from here up. So with the tile set above, you're going to replace the tile in cover. And you're going to install the magnets that come with it. And they're slip sheeted in there, and they're slip sheeted for a reason, because these little buggers are going to find their place. With the magnets in place, you're going to cover them with the butyl cover, with the butyl tape to keep them on where they belong, and then tile your tile in cover. And you're all done. So a couple of things I want to mention about the wall drain. And this new subfloor hanger. I didn't realize until I had all of my flooring down and with the subfloor hangers that I had the slightest slope going towards that wall. And I compensated for it by putting extra mud underneath my slope panels. I didn't want to have that one corner below. You want to be absolutely as level as you can possibly be with this style drain because you're diverting the water from that corner down into the center here with that little piece that kicks out. And I just didn't want to live with a puddle over there. So I put a little extra mud under my slope. I achieved what I wanted to, but I find that my floor goes like this, which is going to be fine for drainage, but visually it isn't the best. The other thing that I noticed with the wall drain, the first one that I installed had a black floor and really light colored, almost white walls. They were linen. And with that black and white contrast, you don't see this slot here at all. The drain is virtually impossible because you're looking at the shadow and the black against the black of the floor. With this brown on brown, I'll know better after I get it grouted, but it doesn't have that appeal. It doesn't have the invisibility that it would if you had contrasting colors on the two different surfaces. Otherwise, I'm real happy with it. I threw a bunch of water in here and it drains like I want. There's no puddles in the corner. It's doing everything I want it to do.